During the demolition of a structure, a construction worker took a lucky leap by jumping from one concrete slab that was collapsing onto another.
Я ж сказал, заденет стопно.
This construction worker wanted to test out a pressure washer for the first time, after learning how to use one to clean tools. Funny enough, the machine was too powerful for him, and he overturned while water was pouring all around. This woman was attempting to clean the windows of a bar when she was knocked to the ground by the unstable table she was standing on as she attempted to get down.
What?
I've just got tagging.
A brick building is being prodded by a construction worker when all of a sudden the entire thing falls.
That dropped an inch.
Yeah.
This construction worker fell through the ceiling of a crowded office but managed to descend a ladder before falling to the ground. A barrel was being welded by the worker when it suddenly exploded into the air. He requested his friend to take over and clear the roadway while he struggled to control a strong water hose. The man walked onto the hose, but the hose was slippery, and he fell to the ground. These workers made the costly error of failing to set up the ramp to drop them down beforehand as they were unloading several cases of beer from the back of a truck. The cases rapidly tipped over as they approached the truck's edge, sending the beer bottles crashing to the ground. This construction worker attempted to ride a mini digger through a doorway, but the machine stumbled and went over, knocking the worker to the ground along with it. This construction worker only wanted to grab a slab and complete his formwork. Unfortunately, as soon as he grabbed one, the stack it was resting on collapsed, crushing him and forcing him through a fence. Fortunately, there were other workers nearby who rushed to save him. These construction workers were confused about how to load and unload the building supplies into the truck. With a shovel, one of them was removing it from the truck, while the other was loading it simultaneously. While she was working, a woman became incredibly frightened when she saw the two cats running in her direction. She became frightened and frantic, jumping up onto the table to get away from the cats. At work, these employees experienced one of their worst nightmares. They dropped the glass window they were working on because it was too heavy for the rig as they attempted to install it. These workers were constructing a bridge. They inserted a bar of steel into a hand hoe and flung it through a crack in the bridge. As soon as the bar landed in the water, it exploded, sending sparkles flying. This employee was engaged in electrical line work. The floor underneath him suddenly collapsed. He then tripped and landed on a table in the office below him. Thankfully, nobody was harmed by the unanticipated failure. These construction workers lacked a machine to assist them while they painted a curb. But after putting their heads together, they had a brilliant idea. As the truck proceeded slowly, they had one of them spray paint the curb from the moving truck's bed.
Le echa el aire, le tapa la sombra, ¿eh? ¿Y eso de la pizza? Sí.
This construction worker does not see the sizable piece of wood beginning to slip from its position as he attempts to drill some holes for his screws. The worker keeps drilling until the piece of wood eventually hits him in the head. At a drilling rig, a worker was watching these two workers as they worked on a high-pressure line. Hammer accidentally slips out of hands and hits another worker.
He gave him a whack here.